Hey guys, this is Erin. Welcome back to my channel. I know this is a little rigged. I'm sorry about that. It's been a long day today, but I wanted to get on to complete this video. This video is Early Cognition and Learning, the Preschool Years, under the direction of Professor Nicole Terry. For this particular video, we are going to discuss 4 aspects of language development. And the 4 aspects of language development consist of auditory, articulation, first words, and grammar development. So for the first article, this is by Peter J. Bailey and Margaret J. Snowling. They talk about the importance of auditory learning and how it kind of sets the tone for a child's learning and growth and development. They say that although children make use of visual cues when learning language, audiation is of primary importance for language acquisition. The fact that language development can be severely compromised as a consequence is defined as hearing impairment is prima facie evidence for the role of auditory processing in language development. We have to be mindful that language development is it's how we communicate. It's how we get along with people. It's how we learn to see what other people's needs are. It's a way for us to express our needs. And it starts by listening. This is a reminder that it's so important to talk to your baby. I know that babies as young as 2 or 3 weeks old, they sleep a lot, but even with them sleeping, their brain is growing rapidly. You're going to see so much growth and development at those first 3 years. You're going to be like, wow, 2 weeks ago, they weren't doing anything. And 3 months ago, they're doing everything. So it's really essential that you take time to talk to your baby. This is how they grow their receptive skills. And receptive skills is something that we all can benefit from. Even if we're not able to verbalize our needs, if someone says you can sit down or pick this up or, have this snack, we're able to process what that means. And that in turn, especially for children that are deaf or they may have another cognitive disability, it's essential that we do talk to them to help build their receptive skills. So even in the event that they're not able to talk, they are still able to understand what's being said to them. So we always want to take into consideration that auditory development is the foundation in how children develop their language. The next thing we're going to discuss is the articulation aspect of language development. I find this topic kind of funny because I've been told a lot of my life that I articulate my words pretty well. And I don't know where it came from. I've had the opportunity to live in a few places overseas. And articulation is essential too because we want to be able to get our needs met. A lot of times if children are not able to articulate their words, frustration comes around. Something as simple as I want a snack or I want to go to the bathroom. If they're not able to be able to articulate those words, we end up with a serious problem on our hands. We don't want that. So this article that I read in regards to articulation, it comes from playingwithwords365.com. This is a pretty lengthy article, but one thing that I found pretty interesting is it states that, believe it or not, children begin to develop these skills starting at birth. They are born listening, and listening is the first step in learning how to produce speech sounds, which will turn into meaningful words, phrases, and sentences, like I mentioned earlier. It all goes together. Children, as they begin to hear those words, that repetition constantly, somewhere in their brain it clicks, and it's like, oh, okay, this is how I associate this. So I remember when my niece, Chloe, she's 9 now, but I remember when the song Uptown Funk came out, I would play it all the time. She loves to dance. And it was like one day she's just started singing the words. And I'm just like, how do you remember these words? So just her listening and articulating certain words, she was actually able to sing the song. So articulation is essential when a child is developing their language. The next topic we're going to discuss is first words. Now, I'm not a parent personally, but I do know that many of my friends that have children, this is one of the things that you look for, even before they're born. You want to know, I wonder what their first word is going to be. Well, I want to highlight 3 things in order for those first words to happen. One, you got to give them some attention. Okay. The attention consists of being able to identify what their needs are. You want to be able to hear your child babble and coo as well. These are all the steps that will help for your child to take their first words. Now, a baby at 3 months old, they will coo. They will look at you, they'll smile at you. But when the baby becomes about 6 months old, then you're going to be able to hear them talk a little bit more. You'll hear them babbling, maybe saying mama, baba, dada. And then when they get to, excuse me, about 9 months, they're going to be able to understand a few basic words. And as they get older, these skills are going to continue. As I mentioned before, you want to watch or pay attention to your baby and listen to what they're doing. Listen to how they're saying certain words or babbling or cooing. And the most important thing is you want to praise them. Children respond very well to being praised for certain things. So we definitely want to keep that in mind. And lastly, we want to discuss grammar development. Grammar is actually two parts. The first is the syntax. It's the rule in which words are arranged into sentences. And secondly, the morphology is the use of grammatical markers. So that indicates the tense, the active or passive voice. And this is actually coming from the language development in children for the children development info.com website. So we just want to be mindful that grammar part, when all of those skills build up, it's going to eventually lead to words. And those words are going to eventually lead to conversation. And that language development is going to go to every subject that the child does, whether it's math, language arts. Language is how we communicate. So it's really important to take into consideration the necessary steps that we have to do to make sure that our children get their needs met. I hope this video was informative, and I'll see you in the next video.